Care has the power to bring kindness where it's needed. It brings out the best in every one of us. It doesn't just see people. It takes time to understand them. It puts the needs of others ahead of its own. And when you start with care, you end up with a very different kind of bank. Truist. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
Rock Talk and so much more. Arroe.net, ARROE.net. We are Unplugged and Totally Uncut with Billy Sherwood from the group Yes.
Hi, Arroe. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We got to talk about this album. My God, you guys have put together this. I got to tell you, this really is some of the most exciting music because you take me for a journey with nice, long songs.
Oh, that's great, man. I'm glad you're digging it. And that's the idea, take people on a journey.
Yeah, because I'm tired of the 3 minute and 15-second kind of, I was there for a moment, but I need some place where I'm going to let my imagination just run free. And boy, you guys do it on the Quest.
Yeah, it's kind of like a movie for your ears.
Now, I study Native American spirituality, and a vision quest is very important to us. Now, when you were putting this together, the Quest, were you guys on a vision quest as well?
Well, making music, you're always on a vision quest, trying to achieve something that you like first and foremost, and feel good enough about moving forward in the other sphere. So we all, we have our studios, and we're all prolific writers, so we started batting ideas around and sharing music, and started seeing this record come together, and knew that we had to make this and get into a real production with this. So it was a quest in itself, in a way, yeah.
I love the idea that you work together, because so many times it's very lopsided. It's always one person in the lead and everybody else is nothing but a hired gun. I love the idea that you guys came together as one.
Well, Yes is a band, and it really is a band, and we all respect each other in what we do and each department, so we have that respect is there and that trust, and that combination is what really bands are all about when you're really in it together as equals,
The song "The Ice Bridge," I feel like that you're talking about my life, and somehow, some way, you guys were able to take my life and turn it into a piece of music.
Well, that's cool. It's funny how lyrics can do that. They're interpreted by the listener in so many unique different ways. And I think one of the cool things about Yes Music is those lyrics have always taken people to wherever it is they want to go, and in their imagination as they're listening. And so it's just one of those things. It's ever changing depending on who the listener is. In a way, it's kind of funny. Even
it's interesting you say that, because even as you grow in age, you could be listening to an album, a Yes album that you got 25, 30 years ago, but yet it's still very important to you now with a different vibe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tales of Topographic Oceans, you listen to that today and it just takes you away to a whole other place.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Yes has always been about. And I'm happy that it's maintaining that,
I'm excited that Steve Howe was the actual engineer on this. I mean, was that pretty cool to be able to check in and all that kind of stuff and build each piece of music?
Well, Steve actually was the producer, and Curtis Schwartz engineered it, did a great job. But Steve did a great job in managing getting all the files together and putting this album together over there in London during very, very tenuous times of COVID, so I commend him for that. And I think it's, Steve's been in the band a long time, and I have a lot of trust in what his thinking is, and as we all do. So it seemed like the logical thing to do on this record to have him produce.
I love the different mood swings and mindsets that you do it all throughout the music and stuff like that. Like Dare to Know. I mean, this song right here is like the ultimate escape, that it gives you the opportunity and permission to say, look, I'm just going to sit back and let my heart clear itself out, and this song is going to take me there.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have some music that is intriguing enough that you actually want to kind of detach from our iPhones and iPods or whatever we're using, and actually just, as you said, sit back and be taken somewhere, And that's how the whole album is, which is kind of nice. So it's sort of a return to that kind of media that we all grew up with, and has changed a bit. But I think there's still a place for it, and people desire it, obviously, you know.
And listeners need to understand that this is, so many of us are so used to just listening to our music through a smartphone or through earbuds, but this is an album. This is something that you need to turn on inside your house, walk about your house with this music just flowing through the house.
Yeah, and I also recommend a good pair of headphones and drive out to a mountain somewhere and just pop it in your iPod and check it out. It's really quite unique. It's good for that.
Are you going to take this out on the road?
Yes, the idea is to get out March, April in the States, and Europe in May and June, and next year is going to be when we get back out on the road, and I can't wait. All of us can't wait.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you were talking about sending tracks in and stuff like that to Steve. Does this mean that when you guys have got to train yourself to play these songs then together, right?
Well, yeah, you've always got a bit of a learning curve when you're bringing material from an album onto the stage, but we're all pretty used to doing that kind of thing, so we, go to our corners and get our stuff together, and then when we come together to play, it's already up and running essentially, and we're just working out, okay, well, how are we going to pull this off this corner here or that corner there? But it's all, the roadmap's clear, and we all adhere to it, See,
I would love to be in that meeting where you guys are deciding what are we going to use for a light show, because your music is so emotional anyway. It's so progressive that it's like, okay, we got to have the right lighting, we got to have the right, everything has to come together at the same time.
Well, we've got a great team that we have been working with for a long time in terms of the audio side of live and the visual arts and the lights, and they come to us and show us where they're at, and we've never looked at each other and gone, what's that? It's always just been, oh my goodness, that's amazing, let's go with it. They've done some amazing things in the past, and when we did the Tales show with the record up there on the LED screens and the waterfalls moving, and these guys are great artists in their own right, and so we just let them do what they do, and it all works out.
Can you imagine if the rock fan from the 60s were to step up into the world of where we are with live performances these days? Those guys that didn't make it, let's say, to the 70s and 80s, can you imagine what the experience would be for them?
Well, we live in a very different world of the industry and how things work and how records are distributed and what formats and whatnot. I think the first thing they think is, wait, you take your album cover and shrink it down to a 1-inch square? What are you doing? But the which brings me back to the quest in the artwork, and you really get to enjoy the artwork. Roger Dean is an amazing artist, and his work is so incredible on the record, and so when you have the vinyl, record and you open it up and look, you're just transported to another time and place. It's quite unique. So I think that would be something they'd be concerned about, though.
I got to tell you how special this album is that we're sitting here talking about the Quest from the group Yes, and this studio is sitting in a forest in South Charlotte, North Carolina, and there's a 6-point deer just outside my studio window, even as we speak. I mean, wow. That's how universal this is. It's all coming together into this moment.
That's magical. That's great.
Absolutely, dude.
I only wish I was there to see it.
Oh, dude,
I'm sitting in a parking lot waiting to go into Starbucks when we're done.
Oh my God, there's actually $2 out there, and they're sitting there rubbing their horns together. You just sit there and you go, "There's nothing I can do as a human being to create this." Oh my God.
Wow. Oh, that's great, man. That's great.
You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you, Billy.
Right on. Well, anytime, man. Just, give me a call, and I'm there. It was fun. Thank you.
We want the band in the Carolinas. We want you on our stages down here, too, dude.
We will do it. We shall.
Excellent. Be brilliant today.
As a woman, you deserve to feel your best. To get you there, Virtual Health connects you to everything you need. From leading primary care to maternity care to a heart program just for women. We also offer advanced mammography, urogynecology, orthopedics, and more. At every age and stage of life, we connect all your healthcare needs. Chat with a Women's Health Navigator today at 833-VH-WOMEN or visit virtua.org/women.